everyone, how you going? And welcome back to Nononoyes, the place where what can I say besides I hope you were strapped into your seats, we were about to go on an absolute rollercoaster of emotions, just trying to guess what the hell is going to happen at the end here, we're just going to be clenching our teeth going, oh, what is going to happen? And then finally it just kind of relieves us with a nice yes at the end. But anyway, let's jump straight into it, shall we? So then starting right off with Big Bro to the rescue. Oh, this never looks good. Wait, actually that looks as though it's trackside, or is it just kind of roadside? Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, whoa. I did not expect it to be the kind of little kid in a way to be the big brother, there's obviously maybe the father in the background just comes sprinting along, but he was going to be nowhere near fast enough to kind of catch that. I mean, I don't exactly know what's happening. I thought at first it was one of those walker carts, kind of like a Flintstones car in a way, and considering I can kind of see leg movement, maybe it is, but I guess there just must be a massive kind of hill right next to the driveway just kind of leading onto the road, and so they just completely took the feet out from under the kid. But I mean, it makes sense, kids certainly aren't the strongest, so they generally struggle a little bit to push their own weight around on a flat surface, so I guess then when a hill comes along, they've just got no choice but to just go where the hill takes them. But man, I wonder where the other brother actually kind of realized, because obviously he's out of shot at the beginning, so maybe he was actually just going that way anyway. But either way, it's one hell of a save, and especially a one-arm save at that, even the fact that we can see that there is no other cars coming for the entire time, and then as soon as the kid just tries and makes a run for it down the driveway, then suddenly there's a car coming. The timing on that is absolutely impeccable. But yeah, like, looking at that dad, there is no way he would have made it. I don't know if it's just his running action or what, but it almost looks as though he's just going for a light jog. It certainly doesn't look as though he's just making some just absolute Usain Bolt movements towards the kid. But yeah, I guess that's exactly what I was looking for, just kind of picking up the slack of the parents, because obviously the Flintstones car had just kind of been around the daddy, obviously on his phone and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, like I said, they've just made a break for it. So if that isn't a reason to have more than one kid, I don't know what is. I mean, I don't know how that first kid survived, considering there's no one older than besides maybe cousins and whatnot, but no, really is an absolutely kind of superhero save, just kind of sweeping in from out of frame, and then just like I said, just a one-arm grab while simultaneously still holding onto the scooter. You wouldn't want to let go of that thing. That is your pride and joy at that age. So really, I guess just absolutely good on the kid for having that kind of awareness for one, and then also just kind of that hyper reflexes, ultra instinct, so to say, just to be able to do a mad kind of scooter dash over there and just make the save of the century, especially because it was caught on camera. You just can't let anyone ever forget this moment. If you were that kid, you just got to bring it up every possible moment. You're like, on the 21st birthday of the kid in the Flintstones car, you just kind of bring it up and go, well, look, you're only still here because of me, so I'll take all the glory. Thank you very much. Screw gravity. What is going on here? I feel as though this is the complete opposite of the last post. Actually, is this the guy that just kind of balances random things? I cannot believe he's advanced to kind of balancing his kid on one of those, I don't know what to call it, besides an oyster chair, but he's actually gone and done it. Well, I guess of course he's gone and done it, and then he's moved on to bottles on wrenches. Oh, no way. Oh my god. And true, he would have smashed so many in the process. So unless you have a serious drinking problem, I can't imagine you have just mounds and mounds of attempts at this. But look at that. That is something that you see in an art museum that has either been welded or hot glued, or some kind of attachment has been made, where this guy is just kind of, like they said, screw gravity, I'm just going to balance it on myself. Even the fact that he's been able to plan for the entire thing, this is a massive cantilever this direction, but obviously there is more weight this side, and then don't even get me started on this entire joint right here. How the hell is he going to balance the bottle on the edge of a bottle, which is on the back of the bottle? I mean, I guess I can see how the spanners would work quite well in terms of holding them on, but still, I'm sure just any kind of movement is just going to completely knock them off. But anyway, let's see if he's got anything else just absolutely ridiculous for us, or is that going to be it? Come on, surely he got something else just to absolutely blow my mind. Or is he going to dismantle it? No way is he going to dismantle it, or is he actually just going to let it all fall? Oh, he just let it all fall. Well, fair enough. I certainly can't imagine that too many of the balancing objects or things, whatever you want to call them, that he makes it actually just come down very gracefully. I think my favorite part about this entire thing is just this kid's reaction at the start. He's obviously just been reading his book while he's out trying to balance the chair, and it's not like he wouldn't know what's going on, but still, just the fact that he kind of just gets completely chucked out of it, it's like, whoa, you would never know when it's going to happen. It might finally be the successful time when he does actually balance it all, or I guess 99% of the times, obviously we don't know how many times he attempts to do it. You can see by the glass bottles that he's obviously smashed a few, and then I can only imagine it would be quite difficult, considering no matter how hard he tries, the kid's just never going to be as motionless as an inanimate object. But hey, I guess good on the kid for kind of volunteering for the entire thing, whether he just goes, Dad, please, not another one. You have done way too many of these things. It was cool the first time, but please, just no more. I just don't want to be a part of it. And he goes, come on now, just one more time, please. And then the egg chair, that's what it's called. It's called an egg chair. I knew it would come back to me. But then the kid finally agrees, and he brings out an egg chair, and you go, there is no way in hell that you're ever going to be balancing like. And then he just completely shows them up, just like that. It's a perfectly balancing object, just absolutely screwing gravity over. Look at that. The entire weight of everything is just going on a perfect point on a brick, which is on a paver. Like, what? Really, the more you look at it, the more it just becomes absolutely unbelievable, because all the force is being kind of transferred, and then he has to account for the flex in terms of how he balances it, when he's holding it versus not holding it, and then all of that force just running around here just absolutely gets transferred to one brick. Really, I'd love to pick his brain about how he even goes about choosing what he's going to balance next, because it always just seems to be random stuff, whether or not this is the same guy that I've seen before, but I've just seen the kind of motorcycles balance, just random bottles like this, just coins, rocks, whatever it may be. This guy just seems to have the superpower to just look at something and just be able to tell where its equilibrium is, and then just balance it on anything else. Might take me a few tries, but at least he's able to do it, just a standard human would never be able to do anything like that. There is no other way to describe this besides it being a superpower. It mightn't be the most useful superpower, but it is absolutely a remarkable thing that this guy is able to do, or just some people are able to do, because even though I might like the challenge of trying to attempt to do this for a little while, there was just no way that I'd ever be able to actually achieve it. And just the ease that this guy seems to be be able to do it. Just, yeah, absolutely screw gravity in his regard. Now that is how you recover. Oh, all of this kind of cheerleading stuff always looks as though it could go so poorly. Oh, and it nearly did. Whoa! That is certainly not the person that I thought was going to need the recovery. Look, he completely fumbles it, whether he's actually the person that causes it or not. Either way, the entire fact that he just fell on his back and then just kind of went into a handspring split, that is a serious finishing move that no one should be messing with, you know. Because just imagine if someone went to fight this guy, you know, they throw a right hook and he just completely dodges it and then just completely rolls out of it into the splits, and it would maybe take your chin off with a high kick, and then you'd just be standing there dazed because you just got kicked in the head. But more so, what the hell just happened? Because I feel as though if you blink, you'd miss this entire trick, you know. It happens in a split second. I mean, I guess as cool as his recovery is, there has to be something said for the rest of people, because they went absolutely all out, you know. They lost someone along the way, and then the guy on the right just comes out of nowhere, and the other two people that were already included in the entire thing just absolutely make the save kind of on their own, you know. The other guy's just too busy doing splits and everything, and dance moves or whatever you want to call it, and then so between the other two of them, they were just completely left to their own kind of accord, and they certainly made a serious save. Looking at how she's kind of twisting and falling, it doesn't look as though it would have been anything fatal, would it? Man, would it hurt, you know, if you just come slamming down for what, like 2 or 3 meters just right on your bum. That is definitely going to leave a mark at best, and maybe at worst kind of, you know, do something to your spine as all your weight just compresses in at once. Honestly, there's just two completely different realities going on here, you know. The guy in the right shirt has his own reality, where he obviously just missed the catch and then just made a magnificent rolling and then into the splits and everything. Then obviously for the other two, they'll be so focused on the catch, and then the two kind of bystanders are just kind of there standing and watching, and they get to see everything. But so I guess in that regard, there's basically 3 entire different realities going on here, but really the main 3 people at the beginning just have no idea what the other reality was between the 3 of them. And so I just wish we got to see some kind of reaction from the other 2, you know. They don't once look over and witness the magnificence that just occurred in front of them. So I wonder if they actually got to see it on the replay, or maybe they just even went to the table and then discovered this magnificent kind of flip handstand roll. But either way, like I said, there was just 2 entirely different realities. I feel like the guy in the red right now, we're just kind of standing there watching these, and so really I guess in that regard we are kind of sworded for choice here. Stuck the landing. Oh, we just got the no, where's the nose? Oh, there's the nose. No. Oh, whoa. Hang on a minute. Even though the dog obviously didn't seem to get hurt, I don't know if you could actually call that sticking the landing. You know, the last guy stuck the landing, where I feel as though in this case there was very little skill involved, and it just kind of happened to happen that way. There is no way the dog actually went in there running into there planning it. I mean, I guess I certainly can't be speaking on the dog's behalf, but that jump right there just looks way too early to ever even being close to clearing the net. And so I feel as though it's just one of those situations where if it's a human, they just go, oh yeah, I plan to do that, you know. I'm just trying to look cool. I just walk it off like it's no big deal. It's all good. And so I guess in that regard, it's certainly a very skilled thing, you know. Maybe they practice this every day. Maybe that's in their backyard and they just go, you know what, I'm going to practice to do a flip. If anyone ever calls me to the other end of the court, I'm not going to go around the net. No, I'm just going to go straight through it and under it and over it and then under it and over it and under it, over it and over and over it. And then after all of that, just end up back on my feet somehow. But no, really, aren't animals just absolutely brilliant at doing things like this? You know, you see them do something like this and you think you're just going to absolutely break their back, and you're all worried about them, and all of a sudden they just happen to walk it off as though it's nothing ever happened. And even though I never want anything bad to happen to the dog, I am honestly just a little bit jealous about what they can do and what they can pull off and just remain completely uninjured sometimes. So yeah, even though this first certainly doesn't give you very long to kind of build up the nose, you kind of go, what's going on? No, don't do it, dog. And then all of a sudden it's just kind of done its flips and it's back on its feet. You certainly get that instant kind of shock to the heart and you go, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? And then at the same time it took to kind of build up the nose, it just kind of disappears in the yes. So really you can see the end there, there's a tennis ball just sitting there waiting. So maybe that was the actual catalyst, but whatever the reason was for the dog deciding to do something like that, but even though it did come off unharmed, I hope it was worth it. Cautiously opening a door. Hang on a second, that doesn't look as though anyone's opening a door. That looks as though someone's going to hang off a ledge. Like I said at the beginning, I have absolutely no idea where this entire post is going. What is she doing? She's obviously opening the door for something. Maybe there's actually like an oh, I can only imagine there's like an alligator. Look, oh no, what is it? Oh no, it's a bear. Oh. Yeah, I reckon that's a fair enough reaction to kind of just be hanging out on the rail, you know. Usually doing something like that is going to be considered the more dangerous thing to be doing, but when there's a bear in your house, I can certainly understand why you want to be outside the railing and not inside the railing when you're opening the door. I mean, even though I'm fairly sure every single front door in the world kind of opens in, but this would just be one time where you just wish you had an outward opening door, so you just kind of hide behind it and then just let the bear just run out your door by you. But I'm just wondering how the bear even got there in the first place. Like, did you leave the door open? Did they somehow get in through a window? How did the bear even end up there in the first place with you either inside or outside of the house? You know, if you were inside, that would have certainly been a shock and you just kind of ran out the door and then just locked it inside or something. But if you're outside the house, and I can only imagine that's your front door, I just can't understand how the bear even would have got there in the first place. Also, judging by the way she handles the entire situation, even though it would be freaky every single time and your heart would certainly be racing, it almost looks as though she's done this before, you know, just how she sneakily opens the door and just kind of then leans over the railing. Everything about it just makes me feel as though it's not the first time that she has done this. And so even though I was talking about why would you leave your front door open, maybe she just does this all the time, you know, perhaps the bears are meant to be in the back area and it somehow made its way into the front area, whatever it may be. I just have no idea about how a bear would even get in there in the first place. I mean, I can only imagine it was looking for food. And even though I have heard the bears are kind of ruthless when it comes to getting food, you know, they just rip car doors off, no worries if they smell food in the car. But in saying that, unless they've somehow learned to open doors all of a sudden, I just cannot fathom how the hell this bear got in there in the first place. And judging by the way the bear kind of just sprints out the front door, I can only imagine it wasn't enjoying its time in there too much. But hey, I'm glad the entire situation could just be diffused how it was, you know, no one got injured. And really, even though the title did say cautiously opening the door, I feel as though it's just kind of knowing exactly what to do and how to open the door, and then suddenly the bang to get the bear out. It just must be the perfect way to go about doing this. So maybe, like I said, she just has done it a million times. She's just absolute veteran. That is just the only way that any of this is even remotely remotely explainable. That's a Dark Souls game right there. It's just always the waiting game at the start. You never know. Oh, whoa! No, that dodge was certainly made of the same kind of mentality, whether somebody's diving for their life in this circumstance or just diving for their life in Dark Souls because they don't want to be sent back to the start of the level. I mean, I guess actually if they did just take one step to the left or the right, they probably would have been missed by a much wider margin than the dive that they did. So perhaps just like before with the dog with the tennis net video, this is just absolutely planned. You know, they've tried so many times to get that perfect loop-de-loop and they finally just clocked it traveling through the air and just had to go for the front on dive, you know, because you can just see that they recognize it halfway through. You know, they just look up immediately and see it at its apex of the loop and just recognize that it's just going to come straight back down and just clock them in the head, or I guess it probably just would have hit them in the back. But either way, you can't blame them for having godlike reflexes. Even if the decision making of those reflexes isn't the greatest, they certainly still achieve exactly what they need to do by just dodging the plane. But no, I think my favorite part about the entire video is just the way they just kind of lie face down for almost a good second after the plane is just well and gone. You know, you can actually see that they wait for the plane to entirely land before even just remotely getting up. It's almost as though it's some kind of military scandal plane. They just kind of dive down into a bunker just to not get seen by it. And I guess in that case, if it is a serious military plane, you're certainly going to be treating it like a Dark Souls boss. You don't want to be seen, you don't want to be touched, you don't even want it to know that you exist. So who knows, maybe this is just how all the pros practice. You know, they have to do a 50-50 split between in-game reaction time and just real world reaction time. And this is the best way that this person has found to train that, because there's certainly not too many things that can recreate a Dark Souls boss, is there? A man and his horse. God, I feel as though whenever there's horses around, there could be so much danger. You know, you might kick you, it might bite you, it might do anything. Obviously, so many horses are trained, but at the same time, it just does not look good to be trying to get on the horse like that. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh, poor guy. He certainly doesn't seem to experience in the whole horse riding thing. You know, you might want to try and get your right leg up and over the horse's back right now. Oh, there you go. Almost like you heard me. Look at him go. Look at this end shot. Now he just looks like a born and bred cowboy. I mean, of course, it's more difficult than generally when we see people mounting up because it doesn't have a saddle on it. But somehow this guy just managed to show you that you can be both graceful and not graceful all in one motion. You know, you can certainly see that he doesn't have the greatest kind of ground clearance there. And so he really has to kind of work himself up and then just completely overcommit all the while. And I guess credit to the horse, because like I said, I thought it was just going to be something to do with the horse, like it was going to kick him or buck him or whatever it may be. But really all the while the horse just kind of stands there motionless, just tolerating all this and doesn't even seem to flinch to the entire fact. You know, maybe this particular horse is just used to kind of train people to get on the horse. So it is just completely used to people falling over the other side and it goes, okay, another one, just come on, I'll stand here, I'll wait, you know. And then eventually they can actually get up into the real position. But hey, as every inspirational quote has ever said, it's not about how you fall, it's about how you get up and recover. And you got to give it to this guy for persevering, you know, whether it's his job or not. He certainly didn't back down after his first fall. You know, he got right back up and right back on the horse, just ready and raring to go in perfect mounted position. So I guess to take a little leap out of this guy's book, or even just a little life lesson out of the entire thing, no matter how many people knock you down, even if you knock yourself down somehow, just get right back up, right on that horse and just go out with confidence. Don't scare me like that, kitty. Oh, cats on balconies. I feel, whoa, wait, hang on, what is going on there? Is that actually against something or is that actually a handrail? Oh no, it is glass. Yeah, they've had to put a balustrade in for some reason, but then it's also glassed off at the same time. You know, it doesn't even make sense. You would really think that one or the other would do, but then again, I guess you just wouldn't get amazing videos like this where it just looks like he's mission posted himself on the side of the railing, because to jump up there and just stop all your momentum and just kind of shove your arms out just to completely balance there, you know, even just using the tail, that is an impressive maneuver. So I feel as though for the first time ever, I just wish this video was a little bit shorter, just so they get rid of that pan so then you can see the light and the reflection of the glass. I mean, but hey, like I said, I've seen so many cats in so many ludicrous places. From memory, there's a fairly famous one with a cat kind of looking over the Golden Gate Bridge. But knowing how agile and light on their feet cats are, it wouldn't actually surprise me if a cat has actually done what this cat did just without the glass. And I feel as though something like that still wouldn't be the most treacherous thing you could find about cats on balconies and whatnot. What I like most about this video is just the fact that it gives you so much no time, you know. You can just see what the cat is about to do. You can just go and please don't jump. It just looks like it's going to jump and then it doesn't, then it does, and then it doesn't. And then after your heart stopping for a few seconds, it just completely skips a beat when the cat actually jumps up onto the hand railing, because there was just no way that you can see any kind of glass there. You know, you see a little bit of a reflection here, but that almost looks as though there could be a little bit of a reflection in the balustrade or whatnot. Not that there's actually an entirely glass pane. And so I reckon for that reason alone, this is definitely one of my favorites that we've seen this month. But along with, like I said, just the Mission Impossible Matrix maneuver even, you can certainly understand how from our perspective, it is just an absolute no all the way through. And so now finally for the top of the month for no, yes, we have keeping cool in a hot situation. What are we going to have? Heavy machinery always scares me. You know, you can certainly at least see that this guy is kind of wearing his general PPE. You know, he's got his hard hat, his gloves. He's whoa, my goodness. He is certainly liking the fact that he wore his long sleeves today. Oh my goodness, it's an absolutely quick thing to just kind of switch off the valve and then get straight on with the fire extinguisher. This guy is no junior. He's an absolute professional. You know, even though that obviously did happen, whether that would be his fault or not, I can only imagine it was an accident, or not an accident, more so just a virtually unavoidable incident. But yeah, I couldn't agree with the title more. He absolutely nailed every kind of component about this. Where is it? Here we go. Let's see. It's at 7 seconds, and then within 10 seconds of the initial explosion, he is absolutely on it with the fire extinguisher. Meanwhile, he's already turned off the fuel. It is honestly just an absolute safety masterclass about, like I said, he's wearing all of his PPE. I mean, there's about 90 pixels in the entire image, so I certainly can't see if he's wearing glasses or not, but considering he's wearing everything else, I would almost imagine that he would be. And so assuming that he is wearing them, he is wearing every single piece of PPE under the book, you know. He's just covered absolutely from head to toe, besides obviously his face, you know, there's not bounds you can do about that, but he was lucky enough, if he had to take it back, he was very lucky because he turns away perfectly at that moment. So instead of getting third-degree burns all over his face, he probably just kind of lost an eyebrow or two as it just wrapped around his face. So like I said, I feel as though if there was ever kind of a safety briefing or just a way about going about doing stuff and just being at work in general, this is certainly the video to take a couple life lessons or even just kind of general rules of thumb. Because like I said, whenever there's kind of industrial equipment involved, it can just be scary times. And exactly like in this situation, you can just never predict when something like this is just going to, well, I guess blow up in your face. But anyway, speaking of that, is going to do it for the top of the month for Nonononoyes. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to do the YouTube and look at things down below. Other than that, we check out awesome posts all over Reddit, so make sure you check some of the other videos out now. Or maybe even just want to consider subscribing so you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.